3 a.m. sound check the first
I've
night.
never heard of that before in my
No,
life.
so after the bands finish on the first night, the bands who are playing the next day start sound checking at like 3 a.m. and go through till like 7, 8 in the morning or something. It's mental. So yeah,
there's like 20 or 30 bands. Every band gets an hour sound check.
Yeah,
like that's unheard of at a festival, right? Like, and we're just like, okay, so it's completely screwed. Like I finally got sleep last night. I think for the first time in a week. So I'm too old for this shit, man. But I'm not too old to go to China. Please have us back.
Hey, how you going? My name is Lachlan Watt and music is my life. This week on the podcast, I'm speaking with 2 out of the 3 guitarists from the Sydney instrumental post-rock band We Lost the Sea, Matt Harvey and Carl Whitbread, during the Australian launch tour for their fantastic new record, A Single Flower. First up though, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been listening, because in the last month, the podcast has actually been gaining the most traction it has had since I started it back in April. And thanks to you, it is now sitting well inside the top 50 in the Spotify Australia music podcast charts. I'm stoked, and watching the numbers grow exponentially has really given me the buzz to keep pushing. Next week, I finally kick off the episodes I recorded at Damnation Festival in the UK last month with George Clark of Deaf Heaven. So if that sounds interesting to you, please follow or subscribe to the podcast or channel if you're interested in catching that when it drops. Now, back to We Lost the Sea. Formed in 2007, they were once a much heavier post-metal group with a sound closer to Cult of Luna and Isis than perhaps Godspeed You Black Emperor and Mono, and actually formed a connection with them all the way back then. After their founding guitarist Mark Owen reached out to me, I ended up booking their first ever interstate shows in 2010, bringing We Lost the Sea up to my old hometown of Brisbane to play some DIY shows years before either Matt or Carl were actually in the band. Matt did jump in soon after that though, shortly before the release of their second record, The Quietest Place on Earth, back in 2012. Honestly, to this day, probably my favourite Australian post-metal album. Although they now have more instrumental releases than otherwise, We Lost the Sea wasn't always an instrumental band, and their vocalist Chris Torpey and I were good mates. We were in fact in close contact in the days and weeks before his death by suicide upended everything in 2013, so needless to say, I have some difficult and complicated feelings tied up in this band. Ones that I did my best to avoid bringing up in the conversation, so I guess I'm letting a little bit of it out now. Tell your friends you love them. After a memorial show featuring guest vocals from a number of their friends, including yours truly, put that era of the band to rest, We Lost the Sea pushed on without Chris, pulling back the focus from their metal elements, expanding greatly on their post-rock ambience, and at least in terms of their niche, achieved great success and recognition with their absolutely beautiful 2015 album Departure Songs. Departure Songs was a total rebirth, almost like a second debut record, that gained We Lost the Sea a whole new following. It catapulted the band into international touring and even Netflix notoriety, with Ricky Gervais, of all people, falling in love and including a song on the soundtrack to his Afterlife show. It's all about as bittersweet as you can get, and We Lost the Sea continues to push forward, with Carl joining following another lineup change for 2019's Triumph and Disaster album. In 2025, We Lost the Sea has once again returned with a new album, A Single Flower. This is one which has seen them finally make it to the United States for the first time, and also most recently China for the 4th time, where it seems like they've found an unlikely popularity. Here's a little piece of a track called A Dance with Death from their new record. Matt and Carl are also celebrated visual artists, with Matt chiefly being in charge of We Lost the Sea's always stunning artwork. I really highly recommend you picking up a physical copy of any of We Lost the Sea's records if poring over little details and just seeing bands go the extra mile to kind of pull it all together with something that you can actually see and hold as you feel the music. It's well worth it and super cool. I love it when bands put in a whole bunch of effort into what's actually inside the packaging, which is a big booklet full of quotes and individual art pieces for every song. With all of this in mind, we obviously had plenty to talk about before the Melbourne show of their Australian launch tour. My name is Lachlan Watt. Music is my life. Please like and subscribe. And now I give you my conversation with Matt and Carl from We Lost the Sea. Cheers. So, you guys just got back from China.
Yeah.
Is that like the third or fourth time there?
Fourth time.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've done 2 full tours there, and then this was our second festival show.
So how the hell did China become like We Lost the Sea's biggest market?
Don't know.
Well, it's all down to it's all down to New Noise. It's all down to Jeff and his work over there. He like Jeff. I don't know if you have you met.
I've had some dealings on email, but never actually met him.
So he moved over there probably almost 20 years ago now, I think.
Is he from Australia?
He's Belgian. And he initially moved over there to study ancient Chinese history or whatever. He's a doctor in ancient Chinese history. So he got his degree and his doctorate, and he went back to Belgium and he said to his parents, he said, "Hey, mum and dad," this was when he was like 21. He said, "Hey, mum and dad, I want to move back to China and start a promotions business and bring Western post-rock bands to China. I think it'll be a good business model." And they were kind of stunned.
As you would be.
And sort of was like, he said, my dad eventually came around. So like, it was probably like, we've spent all this money on your education. And I don't know I think he wanted to be a professor, like, teach.
In like history or something?
Like China, I don't know. Like we have to probably dig deeper on that. But anyway, 15 years later or whatever, he's got this successful promotions business and he's had a good relationship with Mike Solo. So years ago, we got put forward and we went over there and drank all the Belgian beers and had a good time and became mates immediately. And the rest is history, as they say. So,
Yeah. I think it also, I mean, there's a pretty big post-rock scene in China as well. And I guess maybe being an instrumental band helps, maybe, because of the language barrier. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no language barrier to speak of.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, like I think that's an assumption we made.
Yeah.
There are, I mean, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese rock bands that go over there, and a lot of Chinese people don't speak Japanese, but they are into this Japanese type rock bands. But I asked him once, I said, do big American bands go over? And he said, yeah, we'll have like Metallica maybe once every 10 years or something, and like that kind of thing. But he said it's not very common. But big Chinese bands play. There's always big festivals over there, and there's loads of kind of it's sort of insular for the most part, and then it's got this weird niche like post rock thing that the first time we toured, we said like 600 people would turn up to a show. And we said, hey, how many of these people would know who we are? And he said less than half, maybe even only with 200 or something. And sort of feeds our stuff through all of the local social networks and builds up a following that way. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that we've built up a bit of a following. We're going back there next year, so that'll be our 5th time to China. So yeah, it's awesome. It's super professionally run. The hotels are really nice. We get bullet trains across the country between cities. Like, yeah, it's legit.
So much easier than touring Australia by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's heaps better. It's heaps more fun.
Yeah.
It's heaps cheaper, like in terms of
More
the
crowd.
day-to-day costs. Yeah, hundreds of people turn up and, take a punt on your band even if they don't know who you are. Here we have to like beg and plead and squeeze blood from stones.
Ask for a beer.
Yeah, I have to do like emotional Instagram posts like, hey man, please come to my show, like for the 700th time.
I think it was Tim Scheel. Had him on the pod.
Yeah.
Electronic music guy. He does a bunch of touring in China. Well, just did some touring in China recently. And I think I mentioned to him that you guys were like big in China and was like said something about how back in Australia, just like playing the same pubs and clubs as the rest of us that are always the same venues over and over that we've all been doing for the last 20 years. Except in China, you go over there and you're playing to like thousands of people at these festivals and
it's wild.
Surreal.
Yeah, it is.
Surreal.
It really is. Yeah.
So I saw there was a drone show at the festival.
Yeah, just when we thought they couldn't top it from last year, they sent us an email and said, "Oh, which images do you want for the drone show?" And we're like, "What the fuck?" And so they had a selection, pre-made ones to choose from, of course. And then they said, "Oh, we'll put your band logo up at the end as well." And we're just like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah.
So is this festival like just a post-rock festival or is it a bit of an everything festival?
It's Mostly post and post adjacent, I suppose. It's another weird Chinese kind of story that's sort of adjacent to what the Jeff thing. It's so this Mr. Can, which is his nickname, I think. He apparently, as much as we understand, is a multi-millionaire or billionaire who deals in importing sand into China to make beaches in specific areas, I'm assuming resort type areas. And I've learnt since that you have to get a very specific type of sand. You can't just go to the desert and get desert sand. It's not going to work. So he is also a huge post-rock fan. And the first time we did the Can Fest last year, it was his first ever time doing a festival or ever being a promoter for anything. And he just wanted to do it because he's got tons of money, and his favourite song of all time is A Gallant Gentleman, of course. And we didn't play it last year. So he came round and we're shaking hands. He's like, thanks so much, but you didn't play my favourite song. We're like, oh, sorry.
So did you play it for him this time?
Yeah, yeah, we did Departure Songs in full. So yeah, it ticked that box for him. But yeah. So it is equally as odd as our, it's double the size this year. So it's obviously he's doing the right things. So we're, hopefully we'll be asked back again because we'll do it. It's amazing. It's
pretty wild, man.
It was a wild weekend. We didn't sleep for 3 days, and it was a long travel and lots of 3 a.m. sound check.
3 a.m. sound check. The first,
I've never heard of that before.
No,
in my life.
so after the bands finish on the first night, the bands who are playing the next day start sound checking at 3 a.m. and go through till 7, 8 in the morning or something. It's mental. So yeah,
there's 20 or 30 bands. Every band gets an hour sound check.
Yeah.
That's unheard of at a festival, right? And we're just okay. So it's completely screwed. I finally got sleep last night, I think for the first time in a week. So I'm too old for this shit, man. But I'm not too old to go to China, please. Have us back.
Too old to tour Australia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But not too old to tour the States. You did that this year for the first time as well.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
How did that compare to the glory of China?
It was good. It was expensive.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Just day-to-day things was just because our dollar sucks at the moment. So, I think I paid $9 Australian for a coffee at one point, plus a tip. And
brutal.
I think the first time I'd gone to the States, over 10 years ago, everything was half price and cheap. And, now it was just the complete opposite. So that was a bit of a shock. But it was cool. American audiences were cool. It was hot as fuck over there and humid, and so
hot.
It's not that fun when it's like that. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. Just it's a lot of money to get to get there as well, visas, and as you know, it's a tough one to crack. I think.
Are you going to keep trying to chip away at it, or just focus on Asia and Europe?
I think maybe do that for a while and see what happens. Yeah,
the right opportunity ever comes up.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think the size of the country and our availability as band members to leave our families and our country and our jobs to tour is against us, because if we said, okay, we can do 6 weeks, the visa cost is the same, but we're touring much more and we're making that money back and we're playing in front of heaps more people, and it would feel like a much more sound investment. I think it was cool. I mean, we turned up to Dallas was our first show. We landed in Dallas, and there's 63 payers, and it was okay. All right, well, we're not used to. We're okay. Well, at least we're used to something a bit more than that. Obviously, everyone there is excited to see us. We haven't been there before. Departure Songs is everyone's favorite album. They're like, oh my god, I never thought I'd see you, especially in my town. Insert name of city here. So all of that was really lovely. But I think it was more of an investment in, hey, look, We Lost the Sea also tours America. Because it was, I don't know if it was just me, but you can say, hey, we've done China 3 times, we've done Europe 4 times, we've done Australia 100 times, and we've done these festivals and done this. And they're like, okay, cool. And you're like, oh, we did 8 shows in America. And they're like, oh, cool. You must be you've upped the next tier kind of thing. I don't know if that's just a silly, chip on the shoulder thing or whatever, but it kind of felt like an investment in the band as how we present ourselves. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you tour America, you must be a real band kind of thing.
I've always found it funny and odd that like Asia is just such this massive kind of relatively untapped market that just kind of doesn't really get taken on the same level of seriousness as Europe and the States. And I think it's a bit of an untapped, like gem in a way. Like my best touring experiences have been in Asia.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When we're so close too. So I think we should definitely do that more. I think it's just you need to find the right people, get the right offers, have the right rooms, get the most bang for your buck and time off. Really, it's always a juggle. I think because we've got full-time jobs and families and kids and all that kind of stuff. That it's not just the money thing. It's the investment of our time, and it's like if you invest this amount of time and it sucks, it's like that knock-on effect is like, oh, we've got 2 weeks a year to do a big tour like that, and we need to pick and choose the right things. So,
it must be hard to coordinate all the different families, but at least most of the members of the band all have kids, right?
Yeah.
So there's an understanding there.
For sure, yeah. Some people's kids are older than ours, so they get a bit more flexibility. But like our kids are quite young, so it's pretty tough on our partners, when we leave. So we just have to be very strategic about what we do and how long we can be away. And Mike Solo is pretty good at kind of planning ahead and being like, all right, well, if you can only do 2 weeks this year or whatever, then we should focus on the UK or whatever it is. And then next year we'll focus on China and then blah, 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 blah. So it's just trying to figure out the thing that's going to benefit the band the most in the least amount of time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you're just touring Australia this week, just kind of out of obligation of having a new record out.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but
I don't want to.
So just weekend warring and just on those. Yeah.
Like I don't want to it's a balance between it sweats. So it's a balance between being a cynical old bastard and like putting our audiences down and actually like a genuine interest.
To be fair though, like we're so excited about playing the new record. So I think
so you're playing it in full.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing. It's like we get to do that. We're not going to just play Departure songs again for the 60 millionth time in Australia, So it's like hopefully, we're bringing something new to the audience.
So we've mentioned Departure songs a few times, but this is the second album since then, A Single Flower.
Yes.
Why were you guys chosen today to be the representatives to talk about this record out of the entire band?
Well, Matt's mostly the brains behind all the creative stuff. And I'm just his moral support, really. So
Yeah, I'm the designated talker.
Mark doesn't like talking, and neither do the other guys, really. So
Mark doesn't like talking since when?
On camera.
We've got an audio tree coming out next week. So and Mark does some talking on that, and he's very serious.
He did very well though.
Oh, I think we all did well.
That was another cool thing about the States, actually.
Oh, nice.
Going back was getting to do Audio Tree. That was a really cool experience. And they're so organized and it was just super quick and super professional. So should be cool.
So since the band became an instrumental band, like the concepts of each record have been very clearly defined and conveyed through the artwork. So Departure Songs is like the stories of brave men of history trying and sometimes failing or like sacrificing themselves to explore new unknown territories. And then Triumph and Disaster is the story of a mother and a child on the last day on Earth during a climate apocalypse or something, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And then A Single Flower, I haven't really been able to pick what it's about, but I did notice going through the booklet that the album name is from a Cormac McCarthy quote. So you want to tell us what the whole concept behind this record is, Matt?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's
a bit more vague?
Yeah. The other ones have that elevator pitch, and I still haven't really worked out what this one is. And I've done a bunch of interviews, and I was hoping over the course of doing the press stuff that I'd land on something and be like, oh, that's what it is. I should write that down. But I sort of my way through it. I think Mark is also like a big influence on this theme. He listens to like 100 audiobooks a year and like goes real deep into it. But I think this one is about the need for hope, and there's a lot of reference to the Gaza genocide and tragedies and all of that. And Blood Will Have Blood, the last track, the 27-minute behemoth, is literally about like who pays the fee. You have to pay the toll. Someone has to pay at some point. The blood will have blood. And so there's a lot of individual references to literature and art throughout the whole booklet and artwork that create little, I guess, vignettes of ideologies and feelings and themes that we try and wrap up certain things without being too literal.
Yeah, and then threading it all through together with the flower theme and, matching it.
Yeah, and each song has its own flower, which then represents something that links back to the story that we're trying to tell with each song. And I guess at the end of the day, it's what keeps you going, gets you out of bed, and what is the cost. The Cormac quote is from all the pretty horses, and the main character, what's his name? I can't remember. He's right at the end. He sits down and he basically has this epiphany moment and all of the things that he's experienced, and he says, "The blood of multitudes has to be. What is the cost of being able to see this beautiful sunset with this beautiful single flower when the earth bleeds? Something has to go back to the earth for it to be balanced back out." And I guess that's what we're trying to say in a way.
And so you plot all these themes out before you start jamming on the songs, or are you sort of
depends.
Bit of both?
A little bit of both. Sometimes, we have an overarching vibe or theme that we might be working towards, so that can definitely influence the writing. But I think most of the grunt work is done after the fact. And then, like I said, trying to find all the themes, but then also how to thread them together and make them cohesive so they all kind of can exist on the same album. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Triumph we sort of threw that theme out at the beginning of the writing, and it influenced a lot of it. And it was specific choices were made. Some people find it easier to be like really bleak. Like my writing is just sometimes really like just, okay, and Mark wants to write a really beautiful something. And we stopped ourselves from putting those on the same album. We're like, well, it's about the apocalypse. You can't have something beautiful. And I think we learned from that, which is incorrect. You can. But we're like, this time, let's just write. And then right at the end, it sort of came together with a lot of grunt work after the fact. And yeah, just a lot of, it was very abstract, this theme, and it took me ages to work out what to do for the art. And yeah, it was a tough one, but I think it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it all three of you as guitarists bringing separate ideas to the table? Do things happen in like a jam room environment?
It's very jam room based.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think Mark and Matt are probably the primary songwriters, but it's not usually full formed songs. It's more just ideas or riffs or like sections, and then we all just kind of push and pull and try and fill things in at rehearsal, and it's very time consuming. But
did you Carl feel more at home on this record, being that it's your second one with the band?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I guess when I joined the band, I was kind of, my role was like add the sprinkle at the end kind of thing, because obviously for Low I do pretty much all of it. So one caveat was kind of like, well, I spend all my creative energy writing for Low, so I don't know if I can give the same to this band, but what I can do is, add something on top of the solid ideas. But I think slowly, it just depends. Like sometimes something that I think will become a fully formed idea, or even if we're just like all arguing about which direction to go, then sometimes like I can come in and just be like, all right, here, I've just recorded this at home. How does this sound? And then, oh, that's cool. Like,
I feel like you were heaps more involved in this record.
Yeah,
I think the evolution of your time had come to and I think it's because it's kind of like Low had their thing. Like it's at the moment the album cycles are opposite, and hopefully we keep it like that. So it's
try very
Carl's
hard to do that.
Free time is available, but yeah, I think it was good. I think we spent like 2 or 3 sessions leading up to the actual tracking session in the studio of just sitting in the room and jamming on stuff, and really beautiful stuff came out. Like Kieran's bass thing. There was like Mark's piano thing that ended up with Sophie from Godspeed on it, and all of that stuff just sort of happened in the studio. And it's how we work the best because not everybody is a sit at home in front of Logic and write stuff kind of person. And I think that it's such a vibe thing that it makes it much more of a cohesive, collective effort when we're all sat together.
Did you record this album live?
Yes.
A lot of it,
for the most part.
A lot of it, yeah.
There's overdubs on it, but like the core of it's live.
Yeah. We always do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's much
And
better.
now with Al, who's just an absolute weapon and heaps more, like can actually play in time, makes us all better. So yeah, it was just easier. It was really just like bang bang. Oh, that's done. Okay, shit.
So the new drummer has felt like an upgrade for the band.
Yeah, 100%.
I also think he helped with us. You know, like we spent a lot of time in rehearsal rooms and shit, and sometimes it would just feel like we were just going nowhere. And I think
Getting some fresh ears in.
Yeah, and you know, he's young and enthusiastic and not old and jaded like we are about music, and
Doesn't have kids.
He's on top of the world.
Not yet.
He
Don't have kids yet. Al.
believes in God. You know, he's loving it. So he came in just with this new energy, and it made us like pull our fingers out a bit more and just be like, oh, okay, shit. Like, so, you know, in the past we'd have a whole weekend of rehearsals and barely have 10 minutes of new stuff. Now we could do a 3-hour practice after work and get a whole song finished. And it's crazy how much that kicked us all up the arse, you know.
Is that why there ended up being a 27-minute long song?
That was already planned before he joined. We'd already had that.
So like each time you make an album, you're like, all right, we got to do one that's even longer this time. Is that how what your thought process is, or is it just
I don't even know.
happening like
Was it
that?
conscious? I don't know.
It's definitely heavily pushed for by Mark. He's always wanted to do like a 40-minute just one song thing. And I mean, maybe that's where we're at now, but I don't know. I like having separate songs.
I mean, I guess it has movements.
Yeah.
So you could
It definitely has
technically cut it
movements.
up into 4 songs or something.
Yeah,
really.
when it gets real sort of heavy towards the end, I had to do a double take and
you're
was
still
like,
on the
have
right
I gone
track.
on to like, has Spotify radio taken me to like a different band or
Yeah,
something all
yeah.
of a sudden? Like it just went boom.
If we cut it up more, we'd probably get,
You get a whole album out of it.
1 cent more out of Spotify, you know?
Yeah, so you didn't release the single on Spotify.
No.
Very, very conscious decision.
Yes. Yeah. And we think
Tell us about that.
we think it there was obviously a lot of people who were like, why isn't this on Spotify? But I think it did well as far as just pushing everyone to our the YouTube and the video clip, the live clip. And I think we got way more views because of that. And then therefore that video gets more spread on YouTube. And I think that was a really smart decision.
Yeah.
We'd never tried that before.
Yeah, it just made the video more exclusive, and people would have to go and watch it to listen to the track.
Yeah. Or
And it's-
go to Bandcamp. I think it was on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
It pumped the algo on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like that video's got almost 300,000 views or whatever now. So yeah, and it's like fuck Spotify.
Yeah.
I know it's so part of everybody's like listening habits and stuff now, and it's so integrated in. I was trying to do some PR and use Submit Hub and all these kind of things, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't do it because you don't have a Spotify link," and I'm like, "Well, that sucks. Sucks for you." I don't know. It just felt more exclusive, and because we put a lot of work into doing videos, that one and the Everything Is Black video, and it's just like, let's just push everyone through this one channel. It kind of felt a little bit old school. I don't know.
I think.
And then when the album comes out, it's everywhere, and you can do whatever you want with it.
It's going on Spotify anyway. So.
And then I uploaded the full album to YouTube the day it got released anyway. So I was just like, well, you can have it. Like, if you don't want to pay for Spotify, or because usually some uploader, some content creator will put it straight up and start monetizing it straight away. I was like, here it is for free. Like, I don't know. It was just a little bit of a whatever.
Yeah. You have to be realistic about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, fuck Spotify.
Do you still use Spotify yourself, or
Moved.
Moved.
I mean, they're all.
What are you guys using?
Everything's bad.
I'm using YouTube. I'm using YouTube, but only because I was paying for premium anyway, and then I realized music's part of that. So I was like, well, why am I paying twice as much?
Yeah,
Plus all the other things, but you know,
I have a 4-year-old, and we treat him to YouTube like once a week, and I've just paid for premium so he can watch it without ads. And
once a week.
yeah, we've cut it down. He was getting like the dopamine addiction was real. We found him at 2 a.m. in the morning, climbing up on a chair in the kitchen, trying to find his iPad. And I was like, all right,
whoops,
we could have cut this kid off. But I use YouTube all the time. So anyway, that's that thing. Plus, you know, Daniel Ek or David Eck or whatever his name is, the Spotify CEO, is investing in AI war machine so he can go fuck himself. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you still use it?
Yeah, I'm very, very conflicted, I suppose.
I mean, no judgment. But
Like, it's kind of like I justify it in the sort of no ethical consumption under capitalism kind of thing sometimes, where I'm just like,
Yeah,
what,
absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Everything's
fucking
everything
bad.
is bad.
It is though.
But like,
It is.
I'm just too reluctant to let go of like 10 years of Spotify, knowing my listening habits and all the bands I follow and
I
shit.
will
like,
say though, when I switched to YouTube, the process took 5 minutes to integrate all my playlists and stuff, and I would say the algorithm is much better.
Caught up with you pretty quickly?
It's like it actually has better suggestions than Spotify does.
Oh, wow.
I'm finding, yeah. Anyway,
I might need to give it more of a go.
Yeah. It's not There's no judgment. It's not
Man, I still have
moral impasse or anything like
I
that.
still
It's just
have
like,
my iPhone's still full of like MP3s, and I will still like download MP3s and put them on my phone. And you know, if we're touring or we're somewhere with no reception and everyone can't, I'm like, got a whole phone full of music right here, like best quality you can get. So yeah, it's good.
So what's next for you guys after Australia?
rest. Fuck man, yeah.
Family time.
It's been a big year. Like rest. The artwork is like going back a step, but the artwork phase is a whole other project bolted on to the end of a very long writing and recording phase. And then this time we had quite a long time to do it, but you still fill that time to the corners with everything that you need to do. And I was we went on tour and it was awesome. And then it's starting to feel long now. But yeah, music wise, not much. Things will tick over. And then we're already planning Europe next year.
Yeah.
So is the artwork for you, is that all like a digital experience, or are you doing any of it through other means?
I'd love to experiment with. There's actually a Meniscus album cover that I did for a re-release of one of their old records that hasn't been released yet.
I remember saying
there's been I don't know. Ask Mike. I think they're waiting until Meniscus starts doing stuff again because they didn't want to invest money in something when they couldn't tour it or whatever. But anyway, I cut up all this stuff. I did this. Went back to like college days and did like collage stuff and cut stuff up and stuck it and scanned it in. I just create I think it's just this. There's a kind of overtone, undertone, zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it, of this wanting genuine, organic, tactile experiences,
especially
with
now
art
with
and
AI.
creating art.
With AI art now, I feel like the push towards something tactile is much greater. Like a lot of the the artists I follow and the art circles I look at as well. It's like I feel like people are moving back towards that.
Yeah, even
which
if
is
you
great.
make digital art, you put textures over it so it doesn't look digital.
Yeah. But I mean, you still hand draw stuff
yeah.
digitally.
Well, I do it all in Photoshop with a Wacom pad.
Yeah.
And then I have a whole brush set like of 50 brushes and I just paint everything in by hand. And I used to do it where I'd either do it in Illustrator or draw it on give me a pen and pad and I'd draw like a 5-year-old. But yeah, I could do it digitally, but I started like saving layers and outlines and stuff. And then I just sort of backed myself and I just flattened everything and just started painting and erasing. Like the benefit of that is that you can undo a million times, and you're like, oh, I don't like what I did. Like, it was an artist is like, well, fuck, start again. But I was trying to make it as organic as possible. But yeah, that's
it forces you just to be like, well, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, I might start with a trace of an image or an image reference, and then I'll just get rid of those and do my own thing. And yeah, I sort of lent on my wheelhouse a little bit more this time, and it's got that graphic design backbone to it, which is my bread and butter. And I just kind of lent on that. The limited color palette was challenging but cool. It's an awesome experience. It's exhausting because you look at another mountain after you've just climbed one and come down the other side with the music, and you go, oh, fuck, I want to do this. And you bash your head on the desk almost literally till something falls out, and then eventually you get there, and then you get the momentum, and you're like, oh, this is really fucking good. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And then it all comes together at the end. Because the responsibility is huge. And I would be at 11 p.m. on like one of the chat programs to Mark, like, what's this one mean again? And what flower are we using? And he's like, well, maybe try this. And it's basically, we want this whole package to present to the fans. And it's not kind of just like a bolt-on thing, or it's not an afterthought. It's not like, here's the music with a nice photograph for the cover or whatever, which is cool. Like, this is our thing that we do. And it's an extra step and it's extra work, but it makes it so much more enriching for us and for fans. And also, I've in the process, I end up designing like 2 years worth of merch that I don't have to worry about designing, because I just pull from the thing and just chuck it on a shirt.
I really appreciate getting the record in the mail and being able to actually go through them. Like, when I pulled it out, and it was like, well, there's a whole ass booklet in here. Like, never get this anymore.
No.
Yeah.
All these layers to each song. It's very cool.
Yeah. I resent paying $80 for a vinyl, and all I get is like a single, or not even a gatefold, or a gatefold with no booklet. I'm just like, put some effort in, man. Yeah.
But have you ever considered, I guess you're both designers, have you ever considered leaning on Carl for a bit of input or help with this, or is it all your baby?
No, we worked a lot together this time. It was towards the end when we were doing videos, merch, socials. It was good. It was a team effort. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, did some merch designs this time and bits and bobs. Helping out with like beer can designs, and we did some hot sauce and things like that.
You arranged Aaron to do the studio video and then edited that.
I edited the video, and we just kind of lean on the skills we have, right? And try and get it all done.
So 3 albums instrumentally, is any kind of like vocal collaboration or like guest vocal thing ever been considered?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We
just not for the band anymore.
No, not at all. It's definitely not off the table. We just haven't really found the right thing, or I mean, I think that's something we'll definitely do at some point. Just depends on the song. It depends on how we're feeling about it, and
I think we reach a point where we play the post-rocky stuff for a long time, and then like a new heavy record will come out, or we'll go and see Low play or something, and we'll be like, oh fuck, I miss the vocals. And we'll be like, oh, let's get this guy, and we've all got baritone guitars in B or A or whatever, and we're like, let's just do like a post-metal old school style We Lost the Sea, like kind of shit. And we say that, and everyone goes, that's a great idea, we should do that. And then we don't see each other for 3 months because we're all busy with life, and then We Lost the Sea takes over. So I don't know. Maybe now that the third record's out, we can have some space to experiment with some stuff.
I mean, we had Louise on Triumph, and we did that live with her once. But I don't know. I guess see what happens. Definitely open to it though. Yeah, I don't think it won't become a permanent thing, but if the song's right, or if we feel it needs it or something, or we want to have a cool collaboration with someone, like we're definitely open to whatever.
I'm going to have a shout out to Burial Pit, because I think if we were going to do something, I'd want Scott from Burial Pit to do vocals for it, because the dude is an absolute machine. But it'd have to be heavy as hell. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe we can just do...
He could sing heavy as hell, and we could do something nice underneath. That'd be cool.
Anything to annoy our post-rock hardcore fans even more.
So I guess you'd have kind of almost the old school fans begging for some heaviness again, and then the new age fans who probably don't even know about that stuff.
I wonder how much, like, I guess the old fans have grown old with us, but I don't know if they expect that anymore. I'm not sure. I mean, man, I think the last time we did some stuff live, and I think you even joined us on stage, it was several years ago. I think we actually saw people move from the front row and stand. I think we scared
some people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's what, like, for me, I guess listening to We Lost the Sea, it's always a very like hard kind of emotional experience, at least at first, especially when a new album comes out. Just reflecting on Torpy, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but like I'm curious to know like what's your sort of feeling towards him and his distance to the band these days, and how does that inform how you operate or think about it?
And we're past that now. Yeah, like Departure Songs is a special album for us and a special album for heaps of fans, and it's the 10-year anniversary. And we enjoyed playing it at Arctangent. We played it really well, and it was fucking awesome. And I actually cried at the end because there's people, the whole front row's crying, right? And it, there was energy in that tent that was like, fuck, this is special. And same at Post in Indianapolis. That was like maybe that was just because we played really well, but personally, emotionally, and I speak for everybody, it's just like it's all a single flower and onwards from now. It's nice that we have an album like that can take us across the world to an island in the East China Sea where the multimillionaire owner of the festival, his favourite album is Departure Songs or whatever, and we get to play that, and that's amazing. But I think that we actually are planning a really special thing for Europe next year at Dunkfest. Stay tuned, and for Australia to commemorate that record with strings and all sorts of other cool shit. But that's to put it to bed for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've moved on, man. And the new record is probably the best we've ever done, and it's the most happy we've ever been, even though it's like really bleak still. But it's like personally and together as a unit, we're really solid and more than we ever have been. And like that's the positivity we want to focus with, and we're onwards and upwards. And that's why we're backing ourselves, and on this tour just playing a single flower. Like, here's this piece of music that we've written as a whole. Here's the overarching theme, and we're going to give it to you as a live experience. And moving on.
Sweet. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that record in full in just a few hours' time. Awesome. Probably about time to let you guys go sound check. Anything else you want to shout out or cover before we turn this off?
You haven't done enough talking, Matt. It's your turn.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Get me going. I won't stop. Man. Thanks for chatting to us.
Yeah. No, thank you for making the time. I appreciate it.
Cool, man.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for listening to Music Is My Life. This podcast is self-produced by me, Lachlan Watt. I'd like to thank Audio-Technica Australia for providing the high-quality equipment that has made this possible, as well as Patrick Galvin at Hollowbone Studio for the design. The killer theme music that you are currently hearing was written by the legends TJ Cowgill and Sam Saljuki. Catch you in the next episode.